These are all the WWE superstars that I believe are going to be in the Royal Rumble this year. I'm going to start with the women's. I think the women's Royal Rumble is going to be based more off surprises than storytelling. I think you're going to see more surprises in the women's than you will the men's. So as of right now, we already know Bayley, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and Nia Jax have all declared for the Royal Rumble. I think there are going to be 3 NXT superstars in here who are going to get a chance to shine in the Royal Rumble match. Not saying they'll get called up to the main roster, but I think Tiffany Stratton, Lola Vice, and I'm going to say Lash Legend. I think those 3 are going to be in the Royal Rumble. We know Bayley's in the Rumble. I think the rest of Damage Control besides Io is going to be in the Rumble. I think Dakota Kai is going to come back from her injury and be a surprise entrant. I think Asuka and Kairi Sane are also going to participate. Even though they kind of said that Bayley has to win the Rumble by herself, I think it's going to be like a surprise factor. Like, hey, we're here too. We're in the Royal Rumble. Like, Bayley's not going to expect them to be in the Rumble, which is going to play more to the story for, like her self-doubt about the group. I'm going to say the women's tag team champions, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, I think they're going to have a spot in the Royal Rumble, as they should. Throw out some other names, I'm going to go with Selena Vega, Ivy Nile, and Mia Yim. Throwing out some other names I think will be in the Royal Rumble: Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler. I see all 4 of them participating in the Rumble as well. I'm also going to go with Maxine Dupree. I think she's going to have a spot in the Rumble, to be able to showcase and shine a little bit. Also, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green I also think are going to be in the Royal Rumble. And then I'm also going to throw out Natalya and Tegan Nox. I think they'll also have a spot in the Royal Rumble, those 2. Alright, now let's get into the surprises that I see happening in the Women's Royal Rumble. These are just the surprises that I think are going to happen. I think Trish Stratus is going to pop up and be a surprise factor, maybe have like another little mini run like she had last year in 2023. I think Trish Stratus is going to pop up. I got a gut feeling that she's going to show up. Liv Morgan has been out with an injury for a while. I think she makes her surprise return at the Royal Rumble as well. I think a lot of her fans have been wanting to see her come back and win the Rumble and go on to face Rhea. I don't think it's going to happen, but I definitely think she's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I also think we're finally getting the debut of Jade Cargill. I think she's making her debut at the Royal Rumble. A lot of people have been asking, like, where's she at? She ain't been on TV, doing nothing. She's been training. They announced her, signing, to get the buzz about her being in WWE, but now she's been training, to prepare for her debut, because I think she's going to get a very big push on the main roster. And they want to make sure that she knows at least what she's doing in WWE, because WWE and AEW are 2 different systems. They want to make sure she knows what she's doing in WWE before they decide, to strap the rocket to her and push her to the moon. These are the 3 big major surprises I think are going to take place in the Women's Royal Rumble. I think Naomi's making her return to WWE after she lost the Impact Women's Championship to Jordynne Grace. I think she's going to be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. I'm going to go on the wild card with these last 2 and say Sasha Banks. Even though there have been rumors about her going to AEW, I got that gut feeling. Something's telling me she's going to pop up in the Royal Rumble. And the last one, I'm going to say AJ Lee, man. I'm one of those people. I think AJ Lee is going to be a surprise in the Royal Rumble. I don't think AJ Lee's coming back to wrestling. I think it's going to be like a one-off. Like, she just pops up in the Royal Rumble, like a one-off where she gets that big pop and, comes back, doing something for the fans, because a lot of people have been wanting her, to come back for quite some time. So now that CM Punk is back in WWE, I think it's going to play a major factor. I really feel like AJ is going to be in that Rumble this year. I mentioned earlier how I think the Women's Royal Rumble is going to have more surprises. I think the Men's Royal Rumble is going to have less surprises and be based more off storytelling. Now let's talk about the Men's Royal Rumble. We already know Gunther, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Shinsuke Nakamura have all declared for the Royal Rumble. So I think we're going to get Carlito and Santos Escobar in the Royal Rumble. They've been having their little feud, and I think, both of those guys are going to participate in the Rumble. I'm going to go on a limb and say all of Judgment Day is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and R-Truth. Even though R-Truth is like in the Judgment Day, not in the Judgment Day, I think all those guys are going to be in the Royal Rumble. To throw out some other names, I'm going to say Omos, Dragon Lee, Grayson Waller, and Austin Theory all participate in the Royal Rumble. You always have like big men in the Royal Rumble. Omos is a giant, and those other guys I feel like are going to have a chance to be in the Royal Rumble to be able to showcase and shine as well. Other names, I'm going to say Karrion Kross, The Miz, and DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. I'm going to say Jimmy and Jey Uso and Bronson Reed. I don't think Solo's going to be in the Rumble anymore. I think he's more going to play a factor with that Fatal 4-Way match, because there's going to be some interference in that match, and more than likely it's going to be Solo interference. So I think Jimmy and Jey are going to be in the Rumble and have like their first big interaction leading up to their big match at WrestleMania that we all anticipate is going to happen. And I also think Bronson Reed's going to have a spot in the Rumble as well. I have 2 NXT people that I see in here. I'm going to say Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. Those have been the 2 top guys in NXT since, they revamped it to 2.0. Melo has been doing some main roster stuff lately, and Braun Breaker, I think a lot of people I've been waiting for him to do something on the main roster, even though he's in the Dusty Rhodes Classic. I really feel like both those guys are going to appear in the Royal Rumble. And the only surprises that I have, I think Brock Lesnar's making his return to WWE. I think he's going to appear in the Royal Rumble and hopefully have that interaction with Gunther. I think Andrade is coming back to WWE, and I think he'll be in the Royal Rumble making his return. Sami Zayn making his return to TV. I see that happening. And I also see Sheamus making his return to TV as well. I don't want to say I'm spot on, but I'm feeling pretty confident that majority of these people that I feel like are going to be in the Royal Rumble are going to be in the Royal Rumble. I just hope The Rock don't win the Royal Rumble, man. I've heard rumors that he possibly could be a surprise factor. He's the last person who needs to win the Royal Rumble. He's bigger than that. If he's going to get the match against Roman Reigns, he don't need to win the Royal Rumble to get the match against Roman Reigns. If anything, if The Rock shows up at the Royal Rumble, it'll be after that Fatal 4-Way match when Roman wins. And then you can have that, interaction where they stare each other down in the ring and the crowd goes nuts. But him winning the Royal Rumble, no, please no, man. If it was up to me, I already made a video how I would end the Royal Rumble. I would have the Fatal 4-Way main event. Roman Reigns wins. The Rock comes out, stares down Roman Reigns. CM Punk, who I believe is going to win the men's Royal Rumble, comes out. Then he's now staring down Roman Reigns and looking at The Rock because remember, The Rock is the one who took, CM Punk's WrestleMania main event away from him over 10 years ago when he beat him at the Royal Rumble. So that plays into the story aspect like, oh, you took that main event away from me a couple years ago. Well, I can take this away from you because I'm the Royal Rumble winner and I'm going to the main event of WrestleMania to face the champion that I want to face. And then you have Cody like slightly come out on the stage where he's hurt and beat up and he's now looking all sad and depressed because he didn't win the Royal Rumble and he still wants to finish the story. And now he's looking in the ring at The Rock, CM Punk, two guys who also want the shot at Roman Reigns, but that's the shot that Cody wants. And now you have Cody, standing up on the stage, and it plays a lot of aspect of storytelling. It makes you think like, okay, what's gonna happen with Roman? It's gonna be Cody, it's gonna be Rock, it's gonna be Punk. It gets people thinking. Those are all the people that I believe are gonna take place though in the men's and women's Royal Rumble. I really think I'm spot on with a lot of them, man. And the surprise factors, I really think majority of the surprises actually are gonna happen too.